Florida, the beautiful Sunshine State, filled with millions of wonderful people living amongst a tropical paradise. But out of those millions, there are bound to be a handful of people that come with the darker side. Whether it's throwing an alligator into a drive-thru or causing a scene in a gas station dressed as Spider-Man, the actions of this group know no limits. So, with that being said, I'm diving headfirst into the swamps and meeting the unique characters behind the meme gaining fame for all the wrong reasons. Today, we'll be discussing the origin of what some call Florida Man.
Florida man breaks into a house, cleans it, and leaves behind origami.
This Florida man fled the cops so fast that some of his clothes came off, identified by DNA from his sock.
Yes, Tom, we have on the scene a Florida man arrested for crashing his car into a mall. His reason why? Well, he says he was trying to time travel.
The birth of Florida Man.
Over the years, there have been countless news headlines of people in Florida doing the wildest things. As time went on, many would begin to notice the correlation between Florida and chaos. That's when, in the mid-2000s, a comedy website known as Fark.com began to track Florida's hilarious news headlines and repost them onto their site. Hundreds upon hundreds would tune in, some finding humor, some in shock and awe. This early popularity of the site subsequently contributed to the early stages of Florida Man becoming an internet meme. Years later, a major increase in the searches of the words Florida Man Miami occurred in June 2012. I can't go into great detail on why this happened, but let's just say there was some salt and a guy wasn't bathing in it. Or eating it. I mean, he was eating something, but that's besides the point.
Yo, that's kind of messed up.
This fear over a possible zombie outbreak led to Florida Man being searched by millions in the course of a few days, and the media took note of this. The phrase continued to rise in popularity all over the internet, eventually gaining stardom that following year on Twitter under the now abandoned account @_FloridaMan, which pointed out the wildest encounters within Florida. This Twitter account, along with the tweets posted, exploded in popularity, finding itself in every corner of Twitter and the World Wide Web. The constant increase in popularity of the term led to every news station you can name pushing more and more news articles from Florida. I'm talking about CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC News, CBS News, PAWG News, NBC, PBS, CNBC, BBC and BBW. You name it. I mean, who could blame them? These news networks don't just get paid for existing. They get paid off of attention. Attention in the form of viewers, sponsors, and clicks. And what better way to get those clicks than insane headlines that almost sound fake and always attract eyes? Sadly for Florida, there are a plethora of stories that meet that criteria, and I mean daily. Keep in mind that this is a state where the crime rate is reportedly at a 50-year low. So with the crime statistically down, why so many news stories? Why does the media make it seem like Florida is nothing but chaos? Well, there are two reasons that come to mind. For one, Florida is an interesting state, and most importantly, it's hot. Studies have shown that higher temperatures can influence crime rates. So, you mix together the different backgrounds of people from bustling city life to the quiet country living, then throw 90-degree days into the mix, plus alligators and crocodiles, you're bound to get some odd headlines. But the second and most important reason is the media's accessibility and addiction to turning people's lowest moments into content for profit. But why are they allowed to do this? And how? Before we continue on, I just gotta say a big thank you to everyone
Bear with me, hitting different right now.
Yeah! Whoa, who said that?
Gang.
Wait, is that who I think it is?
I'm the Miami Joker.
Yo! What's up, man? This is crazy!
Gang, you ain't know what time it is, man.
Yo, this is crazy, man. Y'all might not know him, but he's from the GTA trailer. What's up, man?
This is Certified Bear with me. Classic. Shout out to Bear, bro.
Much appreciated, man. Anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Thanks for watching, everyone. Y'all some real ones. Gang, bear with me, hitting different right now. Gang. You ain't know what time it is, man. Shout out to Bear, bro.
Freedom of information.
So as made evident, Florida likes to do this thing where when you get in any kind of trouble, they're airing you out, like immediately. It will be known, Before you know it, you'll be talking about it at Thanksgiving, and your grandma will be calling you with some questions. So get ready. And unfortunately, they're completely allowed to do so. You see, the stories often stem from publicly accessible records, such as police reports or court documents. These records are, by their nature, public information, and journalists have the right to access and report on them, just like the rest of us do. As a result, the line between what is considered private or public is blurred, and personal information finds itself online at a surplus. Hey, I mean, give it a try. Not the crime part.
That was super.
Thank you. Thanks. But look up any county in Florida followed by arrest records and you can see who got arrested and what for. So what these news companies do is hire journalists to sit and refresh that public arrest page until something pops up that could possibly be the Michael Jordan of all articles.
Oh, hell yeah. Boss man's finna love me for this one.
Or at least something that they could clickbait. Then, that said person makes the article filled with all the nice private details you would probably like to remain hidden until proven guilty. Once that article is posted, 15 other news stations follow suit. They switch up a few words here and there, dive in a little bit deeper with even more personal details, and post it. Rinse and repeat, and now you have thousands of articles, all written about the wild things Florida Man did. This is made possible by an act created by the US government in 1967. I'll try to keep this brief because, blah blah laws. But the Freedom of Information Act, also known as the FOIA, quote, gives any person the right to request access to records of the executive branch of the United States government. It might sound simple, but this act is vital in keeping the government transparent and letting us know at least some of what's going on behind closed doors, which is great. But most importantly, for this video's sake, is that it's vital in giving anyone the ability to know, laugh at, and share a Florida Man story. But let me keep this clear. Florida Man isn't just an internet meme or online gag anymore. Rather, Florida Man has evolved and grown into its own culture. You know why, and you know how.
Let's find out where.
Florida Man culture and lore.
Creeping its way into other forms of pop culture, Florida Man has now become a household name for a lot of people. Comedians incorporated it into their routines, TV shows made references, and video games involved it into their storylines. It was like Florida Man had become a hot topic for creative minds across various mediums. There's the Netflix original miniseries, Florida Man, that follows the character Mike Valentine as he moves back to his hometown in Florida, which received decent reviews. In the lesser-known up-and-coming indie game, GTA 6, we could see sneak peeks of Floridians running rampant throughout the trailer, some of which might look familiar, as they're based off some of the craziest Florida Man stories to reach headlines. If you're feeling thirsty, you can go to the nearest gas station and pick up a 6-pack of Florida Man IPA. Just don't drink it while you're driving home or you'll be the Florida Man. Shh. And if you happen to already be a Florida Man and are seeing this before February 24th, 2024, head on over to St. Augustine to compete in the real-life Florida Man games and show off your skills. Yes, it's a real thing, no joke here. In the evading arrest obstacle course, you can jump over fences, into backyards, and away from actual police officers to earn your freedom. Top that with a mullet contest and a mechanical gator ride, and you're in for an insane athletic showdown. I think it's safe to say that Florida Man has captured the imagination and attention of many. But I believe there are a few reasons behind this infatuation. On one level, the absurdity and unpredictability of the headlines associated with Florida Man provide an escape from the mundane, showcasing a reality that sparks a sense of wonder and disbelief. Beyond the surface level amusement, however, lies a deeper connection to the universal human experience of vulnerability. The extreme nature of Florida Man stories mirror the chaotic aspects of life, reminding people of their own potential for irrationality under certain circumstances. Additionally, there's a sense of shared humanity and the acknowledgement that everyone has moments of regret based off poor decisions. You could say this fosters a sense of communal empathy amidst the laughter. But enough with the culture and where it came from and why it even exists. To me, it's just as important, if not more, to show you the prime examples of what would be a Florida Man story. So, I've compiled a few of my favorite stories that fully embody the characteristics I've shared with you today. Let's call it the Florida Man Hall of Fame.
Florida Man Hall of Fame.
To start off, in an unusual event from West Palm Beach, Joshua, a 24-year-old, found himself under arrest facing many charges, one being unauthorized possession of an alligator. He wasn't just keeping it as a pet though. Florida's Fish and Wildlife Conservation authorities reported that in October, James hurled a 3.5-foot alligator into the drive-thru window of a Wendy's in Palm Beach County, right after he was handed his drink. He then sped off, but was later identified and apprehended thanks to video surveillance footage. A wildlife officer disclosed that James confessed to the deed, explaining he picked up the alligator from the roadside and transported it in his truck. Before you know, he chucked it at some lady just trying to pay her bills off at Wendy's. His mother even downplayed the event, calling it a harmless, stupid prank, emphasizing that her son didn't intend to cause any damage. Remarkably, the incident resulted in no injuries, and the alligator was released back into its natural habitat. While it is fortunate that no injuries occurred and the alligator was safely released, this event highlights a serious lapse in judgment. It's imperative to approach wildlife with respect, not toss them at someone's face. Then there's the incident involving 28-year-old Jonathan on Merritt Island, where he found himself in trouble for allegedly making up an urgent situation to secure a lift to Hooters. Jonathan is said to have dialed 911, falsely reporting that his grandmother was experiencing a medical emergency in the eatery's parking lot, and he needed help getting there. Located along the Atlantic coast of Florida. This led to a 3-hour effort by deputies to find the supposed emergency, which concluded with the grandmother being found elsewhere, healthy and unaware of any distress call. She confirmed that she did not have a stroke, nor did she require any assistance. It turns out, Jonathan had fabricated the story in a bid to satisfy his keen interest in visiting Hooters. As a result, he was detained for abusing the 911 system and was subsequently released on bail, with no legal representation recorded at the time. This case highlights the extreme measures some might take to fulfill a specific desire, especially for something like Hooters, even at the cost of misusing vital emergency resources. It's good to hear that his grandmother was okay, but it's concerning to think about the unnecessary worry and confusion this situation must have caused for her, along with anybody else involved. Nice going, Jonathan. In the early hours of October 1st, 2011, an incident unfolded in Jensen Beach. Matthew, who was 30 at the time, had a few beers and was seemingly in pursuit of a late-night snack. He managed to get inside of his truck and drive and arrive safely at the nearby Taco Bell. He successfully placed his order and even received his taco, only to fall asleep before he could depart. The situation escalated to the point where the manager of the Taco Bell was compelled to involve the police. Matthew was completely unconscious at the service window and was causing a delay for other patrons eagerly awaiting their orders. When the deputy approached Matthew, he requested him to show his identification. Instead of complying, he offered a taco from his bag, mistaking it for his ID. Even after a gentle correction by another deputy, who reiterated the request for an ID and not a taco, Matthew was unable to contain his amusement and began to consume his taco. Further observation revealed that Matthew had dozed off with his foot pressing down the accelerator, even though his truck was in park. This caused the vehicle's engine to overheat and catch fire, necessitating the use of fire extinguishers to douse the flames. A breathalyzer test revealed that Matthew's blood alcohol concentration was between 0.227 and 0.225, significantly surpassing the legal driving limit by threefold. As a result, he was detained and faced charges related to driving under the influence. The fact that Matthew was so out of it that he thought a taco could pass for an ID, and then just started casually eating it when he found out it wasn't, adds a whole new level of absurdity to the situation. It's a relief to hear that the situation didn't escalate any further, especially considering his truck caught on fire. But hey, I get it. And finally, how about the incident in Pensacola, where an individual provided an odd reason for driving his Dodge Challenger into a strip mall, aiming directly at the entrance of an advanced tax services. This odd occurrence took place at the crossroads of North Davis Highway and West Fairfield Drive around 10:50 a.m. The driver, who claimed he wanted to time travel, ignored a red light and drove his vehicle through the structure, halting just outside the back exit. Surprisingly, the driver walked away without any injuries, but was transported to a nearby facility for a checkup. So far, no legal actions have been initiated, and the Pensacola Police Department has verified that the building was empty at the time of the crash. The event raises numerous questions, especially regarding the driver's stated intention to time travel. Unfortunately, 3 businesses had to close due to the amount of damage that was caused by the accident, which really puts a damper on the entire scenario. Nonetheless, the man was given his citation, and the aforementioned tax company was able to build its building back. And there you have it, the Florida Man Hall of Fame. But these are just a few of my personal favorites. Comment down below some of your favorite articles, and we might discuss it deeper in a further video. This all begs the question though, is Florida Man so bad?
Florida Man forever.
despite the fact that the origins were rife with criminal activities, incidents of personal information being inadvertently revealed, and various forms of exploitation. A closer examination of the current landscape reveals the positive outcomes that have emerged from what initially began as a humorous concept on the internet. Celebrated events such as the Florida Man Challenges and the highly anticipated release of GTA 6 are set to elevate the notoriety of the Florida Man phenomenon and the state of Florida itself, pushing its level of popularity past what's already achieved. This leads one to ponder, was the Florida Man phenomenon truly a unique occurrence? Given that Florida is renowned for its transparent public records, it provokes curiosity about the nature and extent of criminal activities or bizarre events that might be transpiring in other states, where access to such information is not as readily available. Perhaps the perception of Florida as an epicenter of outlandish behavior is not entirely accurate. It may simply be a consequence of the relentless media focus on the more unsavory aspects of daily life in the state. Regardless of one's opinion, it remains an undeniable fact that individuals will continue to make questionable decisions. The media will continue to cover them, and the public will maintain the attention needed to progress the cycle. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a greater understanding of the internet meme that grew into its own culture. If you're new here, subscribe to never miss out on another video that we release. This video may be different from our usually scheduled programming, but it's a change we believe you will come to enjoy as we continue our YouTube journey. Thank you for all the support and have a wonderful day. As always, bear with me.